Welcome back to the weighing room with the winners enclosure and myself, Frankie Foster, and Hannah Baycroft. We are back in action with Meydan to start. We're going around the world. We've got Meydan to start. We're doing Sandown on Saturday. We're doing Wincanton on Saturday. We're doing Fairyhouse on the Sunday. We've got a lot to cover. Some brilliant racing last week and some very competitive racing this week. I'm looking forward to it, Hannah.
Yeah, we've got a mixed card, haven't we? So we've got the flat, we've got 4 races over hurdles and then 3 over the chase fences, which will be nice and exciting. And it's the new year, it's 2022. Can you believe it? So we are, heading into January with some exciting stuff. But Frankie, you were at Cheltenham last week, weren't you? I mean, it looked very exciting. I saw the clip of you on a slide.
Family fun day. It's mental. All of the, and you'll know this, the more you work in racing as well as go to the races, there's just so much going on. I mean, in the morning I was going down a slide, and in the afternoon I was in what is effectively the Guinness Village with the chip shop boys. So it was good fun. A impossible day's racing to pick a winner. I don't think I had one all day. I'm not sure we did too well on the podcast last week, but hopefully we can do a bit better this week.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't end up making it when I came back from Switzerland. I had 0 sleep, and my friend was at Cheltenham, and he kept messaging me, and I was like, "Listen, I've had no sleep. Give me an hour, and I'll be with you." It looked an amazing day. I was disappointed that I missed it, but there we go. You've got the good old TV, so.
Yeah, well, this week I'll be definitely watching from the telly. We'll make a start with Meydan. We are just doing the one at Meydan, the 4:55. I always find it tricky to pick horses over in Meydan, but we are all in agreement on one, so maybe we will have some luck. The winners enclosure selection is La Barossa, and it's the same for myself. Based off of it going in the most competitive races, if you looked at its form, you might be put off. It came 10th last time out, 6th the time before, 2nd the time before, and 5th at the back of the field. So it isn't exactly catching your eye with many firsts or seconds, but they have all been group races. 3 of those have been group 1s, one of which was a group 3, which it came 2nd in. And you could make excuses for the last twice. One was maybe a little bit quick over 7 furlongs. The other was on heavy ground. So I just don't think it's quite had its way. And if you go back even further, it has actually won a group 3. So I feel like this is a classy horse that just hasn't quite had its race yet. And out of the top 3, you're looking at 3 Charlie Appleby Godolphin horses. This would be my selection with James Doyle on board. I think you're in agreement.
I am in agreement. So obviously you've got the Godolphin horses dominating the market at the moment. I think the favourite at the moment is One Ruler, which is the son of Tabawi. I think La Barossa, I don't know if you want to say that with an accent, but it sounds funkier. If it's back to the way it was before, I think it will give its stablemate a good run for its money, hopefully. It looks to go well fresh. And at this distance as well. And, I think you said it already, yet to win a Group 1. But, I think this horse has got more to come. And it's tricky because you've got such big contenders, some real strong horses in there. But, he comes back from a 206-day break. And like I said, he goes well fresh. So I think it probably will win, to be honest, over One Ruler. I mean, it's a tricky one, like you said, because, I was always thinking, One Ruler, I mean, the favourite, will it win? But I think if it can get back to how it was before, it should beat One Ruler, and I think it's going to be those 2.
If you could have horses aside, if you could have a jockey, would you have James Doyle or William Buick?
William Buick.
Would you? Yeah, I think. I quite like James Doyle. But yeah, we're settling, all 3 of us, with La Barossa. So fingers crossed we can get off to a start tomorrow evening at Meydan with a winner. Going to Saturday, if I move myself across, we are starting with the 12:40 Mares Hurdle. And this is another competitive one. I went back and forwards on a couple in this race. The winners enclosure selection is Gay Louise, I'm going to say. I think that's how you pronounce it. You're saying that as if I've got it terribly wrong.
I wouldn't have said that, but I guess, yeah, I mean, yeah, okay.
Something like that. The Mullins horse with Paul Townend on board, which, I mean, you can't argue with that. I am going to go with them again on this one. The one I was looking at first was Anything for Love. I like the fact it won a handicap off top weight and heavy ground. It's obviously a powerful horse, and it does look like one that is improving. But that was only a class 3, and there's 2 others in this, Sky Ace and the selection Gay-Louise. They went in a class 1, or a grade 1, sorry. Sky Cap's running all sorts of races since not really finishing anywhere, but it's been running in grade 1s. It was put into the Hatton's Grace Hurdle. It's been running behind very impressive horses and not really finishing anywhere. So it's hard to know what to make of that, because this is not a strong race, whereas the selection hasn't done anything since, apart from one race where it hosed up by 10 lengths. Mullins is obviously in fine form. He knows what he's doing. So I would back him to have it fit and ready to fire again. So that is my selection as well for the Mullins team.
So I put that underneath my pick, actually, because it's an interesting one, another one that goes well fresh. But you've already said about that horse, so I'm going to go with Martella Sky, which is currently looking at the bottom of the market. But, you know, it's always interesting to go a bit rogue, isn't it? So this horse, actually, I think I took this horse last time on its last run. So it's already had 2 wins out of 3 already this season. Its last run at Cheltenham, it was the second favourite. And I do believe, let me just have a look, because now, everybody, I have worked out how to put Zoom aside and still look at the race card, because I couldn't actually do that before. Technology. Yeah, it won its last race at Cheltenham, beating Indefatigable, I think that's.
Yes.
It's mainly ran on soft ground, but yeah, heavy in places. I think, actually, I have noticed that does. I think that is the current ground at Sandown. But I do like this horse, and I just don't think it should be written off. It's a 6-year-old. Could have a little bit more to come. Will it go against, will it do well up against the bigger horses? Well, we'll find out. But yeah, I'm going to go with Martello Sky for the Mare's Hurdle.
How would you pronounce, would you say Gaulois? Would you say Galoise?
Yeah, I mean, I like to put an accent and be a bit jazzy, so I said Gaulois, but...
Gaulois, maybe that sounds a little bit nicer.
I think if it's Louise, it'd have a U in it.
Yeah, I was rereading it and I thought you're probably right there. I think I've got it wrong. Either way, let's hope Willie Mullins can get the job done for me. Next up, we're going to the 150. We are looking at a Class 2 handicap chase. The winners enclosures selection is now the favourite, Numitor, with Tom Scudamore on board. As I look at this, oh no, I am still in the race. I thought I'd been pulled out. My selection is going to be Gunsight Ridge, which I think is the favourite. I'm taking the form of L'Homme Press, Venetia Williams horse that won very impressively at Cheltenham at the weekend. I think that was probably the most impressive horse of the day. It did beat Gunsight Ridge comfortably by by 6 lengths, but Gunsight Ridge was 10 clear of third, and it does seem to be a horse on the up for sure. Has gone up slightly. It's gone up £3, but it's nothing massive for what seems to be a decent enough race last time out. And another vote in its favour, Ollie Murphy, Aidan Coleman, bang in form, having a great season, the pair of them. So I think there's a lot of ticks in this horse's box, and I think it's deserved favourite. So my selection is going to be Gunsight Ridge.
So I am going with Numitor, and that is also the winners enclosures selection. I really like this horse. It was my pick for the Ladbrokes Handicap Chase. And it came second to Il Ridotto by 6.5 lengths. He won his seasonal debut at Wetherby on the 29th of October, and coming up, he carries 11 stone 3, and he's previously won carrying more. Now, what I noticed in his form, he's always had 2 races and then a decent break before coming back, whereas this time it's going to be a 3rd race. It'll be interesting to see how he can get on with that. But the last time, that he did have those 3 races in kind of close proximity to one another was back in 2020 at the beginning of his chasing start. But I do like this horse. I think it's a nice horse. And when I looked earlier, I don't think it was the favourite, but I can see how it is the favourite now. It's got great form. I was tempted by the Venetia Williams horse. She did win this race last year. But yeah, I'm going to stick with my guns because I do like Numitor, and I think it will win a good race. So that is my pick for the 1350.
That's the handicap. Next up, we are going to the novices hurdle, the Tolworth novice hurdle. You might as well call this the Constitution Hill novice hurdle. We're going to give well, I don't know actually. We'll find out. I don't know what your selections are, but we're going to give a forecast because Constitution Hill is here to impress and run the show. 2 to 5 favourite, super impressive last time here at Sandown. So that is, at the top of the market, but we are going to give a forecast selection in this race because the obvious selection would be to go just all in on Constitution Hill. So I am having Constitution Hill to win the race. So are the winners enclosure, and their forecast play would be That's All Right Gino. So Constitution Hill 1, That's All Right Gino 2 for the winners enclosure, Constitution Hill 1. And shall we have one more? 2 for myself. It won its bumper quite impressively. It came second after pulling pretty hard in a class 3, only a class 3, so nothing crazy, but the horse that finished behind it in third did go on to win by a number of lengths, again, albeit only in a class 4. So not the most impressive of races, but they are novices. And I think if there was one I'd give a spin to come second, it would be, shall we have one more for Gary Moore?
Well, I am going with Mr. Glass to beat Constitution Hill.
Oh, that's brave. Very brave.
Well, I just thought, let's not be boring here. So yeah, as you said, so Constitution Hill made an absolutely impressive debut for Nicky Henderson at Sandown. So already ran at this track. And run really well, so we've already got the confidence there. But Mr. Glass for Paul Nicholls, I think actually at the moment it is the second favourite. Now, it's already had 2 runs already this season. It's won both of them. Hurdle debut on the 26th of October, won by a length, and that was at 2 miles 3. So this race is 1 mile 7. But the next time, which was, I do believe, the last time out, it won the novice hurdle at Newcastle, and that was 2 miles 6. So we are stepping down in trip, but I do think he's definitely in with a good chance. So I'm going to take my chances there, and I'm going to go Mr. Glass to beat Constitution Hill, and I do think Constitution Hill will come second, but I think it'll be very, very close.
That's a very big shout. I personally, I think I've got Constitution Hill down as your supreme winner, maybe even to beat, well, it would have to be the winner, John Bon. I think it's a very smart horse, but we'll see. I'll let you take over from here, Hannah, and take us to the last race at Sandown.
It is. It's the last race at Sandown, the 3:35 handicap hurdle over 1 mile 7. Sorry, yes, it is 1 mile 7. Now, I was backwards and forwardsing over this for quite a while. So I wrote 2 horses, and then I've actually come with a verdict. I'm going to go with Fergal O'Brien's horse, Volkovka. Now, have I said that right? Not sure,
Volkovka.
Volkovka. I think it's my favourite, and I just thought no, because the more I thought about it, the more I was going with Volkova. So I'm going with this horse, and it wears the hood as well because it's definitely one to look out for. It's run in 2 handicap races, and it's won the handicap hurdle last time at Carlisle on the 8th of November. After a 240-day break, it was second at Sandown in the handicap hurdle last time out, so it already knows the course. Now it carries 10 stone 13 this Saturday. I think it's got a lot going for this horse. There's a lot of things in its favour. But what did put me off at first is there's like Hermes Boys is carrying a lot less than the others, I do believe. I said I can get the race cut up, but now I suddenly can't. So that was why I was tooting and throwing a bit. But it's ran at Sandown twice in its career already, and had a second and a third. So I do think it will go well, knows the course. Previous 2 runs, it had Peter Kavanagh's jockey claim, but Paddy Brennan rides this Saturday. The winners enclosure are going for Mac the Man. What about you, Frankie?
I am going to go against both of you, against Mac the Man, who my selection got beat by a couple of races back. I think there's a real interesting one in this race. Again, for Gary Moore, Natural History. This horse has gone off 2-7 twice and got beat. It's been very heavily backed a couple of times. It's also ran behind some decent horses in good handicap. Tommy's Oscar, Sonny Gino, sorry. Langer Dan, who I think is favourite for one of the handicaps at Cheltenham now. And it has a £9 swing on Mac the Man, the winners enclosure selection. Since last time out, the Natural History has come down, I think, £8. It's running off of 10 stone, and Mac the Man's gone up a couple. And I think it could be in off a very, very low mark. I think it's been unfortunate. It's had market support, hasn't turned out. This was pulled out of a race earlier this week and has come here to Sandown instead. I think this could be a sneaky one that could win quite well for the Moors. So for me, Natural History will be my selection.
So now we're moving courses and we're going to Wincanton. This is very apt because it was my grandfather's favourite course and I'm in my grandma's house. Can you believe it? So it's the 1:30. It's the handicap hurdle. It's 14 declared to run and it's 1 mile 7 furlongs. Now for this race, it was very tricky to pick, but yeah, I'm staying. I'm not changing my mind. I'm going with Noble Savage. Nigel Twiston-Davies' horse. Finn Lambert rides and claims £10. It won at this distance before on the 18th of November at Wincanton, so we've already had a run at this course, and it was the beaten favourite, carrying 11 stone 7. Last time out, though, at Huntington in the handicap hurdle, it came 9 from 11. So, when I was looking at that, there's not many things in its favour. I don't think it was in a great place, and it could have run a lot better, and I do believe that was at 2 mile 4, that race. But Finn has done really well on this horse so far, so you've got that inner confidence already to do well. It is down in trip, and I do think it will suit much better. So yes, I'm going to go with Noble Savage. I think it's a nice horse, and the winners enclosure are going to go for Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, maybe. Or Pittsburgh, who knows? We're struggling with names today, aren't we? This is it's a tricky race. It's a bit of a donkey derby. Can I say that? Can I get away with saying that? It's class 5. There's not too much going for a lot of these horses. It's impossible to find one in here. I went back and forwards on a number of horses. I think we're doing well if we pick a winner. I've gone for Ken Delu, which a little spot for you, owned by Ken and Della, and it's called Candela. So nicely named by the owners. This is another one back in trip. It's won a couple of races like this, to be fair. It's won 2 class 5s. It has gone up slightly in the ratings for that, but has, it's done its best work over shorter, and the last 2 times out it was it won over 2.7 and then flopped a little bit over 3 miles, so it hasn't improved for going further. They've dropped it back down in trip. It's also down £2 probably for struggling last time out, and based off previous form, I think it's got to have a chance in this handicap, but as I said, I wouldn't be too confident on any of these.
Right then, well, we go on to the 2:05, another handicap race. We've got the handicap chase, 10 runners. It's 1 mile 7. I am going with Casa Tall. Now, again, I spent quite a while. I was like, backwards and forwardsing. It is let me just check while I've got it up. I have finally worked out how to use my laptop. It is a class 3 race, and this horse has previously won a class 3 race. I just need to cough, sorry. That's better. So yeah, this horse has previously won a class 3 race. It has had a good season so far. Seasonal debut, it came 3rd at Wetherby. Like I said, it won Exeter, the class 3, and it was beaten by Shake 'em Up Harry at Haydock, and that was on the 18th of December. He's not really won by a huge difference. He was, when he won his race at Exeter, he won by 1 length and a quarter. So it's nothing huge, but yeah, Wincanton is a right-handed track. It has it's run on a right-handed track before, and I think it did all right. Yeah, Exeter, sorry, it won. It's won on a right-handed track, so that's no problem. But I think out of all of them, this horse did stand out to me a lot. I like what it's done this season so far. In August, actually, it won at, that's Newmarket. Newton Abbot. Won at Newton Abbot. I was thinking flat. But yeah, this horse I like a lot better than the others. That's going to be my pick. It's going to be Casa Tall, the 7-year-old.
Castor for you, Grey Diamond for the winners enclosure, and Grey Diamond for me too. You said your gran likes a grey. I'm not sure if it is a grey horse, but Grey Diamond, I'd imagine it is. Sam Thomas and Jack Tudor on board, taking £3 off. I think this horse has got the best form in the race, and it does seem to be improving for every run over fences. It's not been disgraced in some better races, running at grade 3 behind Editeur de Gite, which is turning out to be quite a smart horse. Amula Gold, one that you like, again, not disgraced in a listed race. And given the claimer on board, it is down £4 because Jack hasn't been riding it. Sam's been riding it. So it's gone down £1 in the ratings. Jack Tudor takes a further 3 off. He didn't do anything wrong last time out. And I think that was over a little further than what it likes. So Grey Diamond for me, with the claimer on board, I think it's fairly weighted, and it's been going well in probably stronger races than this. So I think it's got a decent chance, Grey Diamond, in this handicap.
So now we go across the pond. We're going to Fairyhouse for the 2, the handicap chase, just over 2 miles. Now, if I was the editor of this, I'd have the song playing Rain on Me, because that is the reason for my pick in this race. I am going for Take All in the green colours with the blue sash. Since its chasing debut, it's had 4 rounds. It's first time ever fences he won on really testing ground. On the 25th of October, 2021. I was thinking we're in that year. No, we're not. It's 2022 now. It was the 28-1 winner at Wexford and hasn't won since, but he has placed, so he's done well. He hasn't previously won at Fairyhouse, but the ground is currently yielding. Now, it is set to have some rain. It's going to rain today, tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, so we're going to have lots of, it's going to really do this horse some good because it does like the heavy ground. He will need the rain, but I asked for it, I got it. No, it's really raining. But yeah, it carries 10 stone 5, and it's the lowest he's carried since racing in handicap chase. I think he's got a really good chance. I really do. So I'm going for Take All. That's going to be my pick at Fairyhouse. And I haven't got the winners enclosure pick. Have you, Frankie?
The winners enclosure have gone for Epsom du Ho, or Who. Epsom de Ho for Henry de Bromhead, which I nearly settled on. This is a very tricky handicap. I'm just looking at it now. There's a couple from Peter Fahey in here, a couple from Gordon Elliott, a couple from Mullins, a couple from de Bromhead. I mean, they're all chucking some decent horses in what is an extremely competitive Grade A handicap in Fairyhouse. And you've got Hardline, top weight, impressive horse. The selection from the winners enclosure I liked, but it's gone up £9. Similar story with Dun Vegan. That's gone up, what's it going? It's gone up £7. But after both winning last time out, I'm going to settle on Black Bow for Willie Mullins. A horse that has not been winning races, but it's ran behind Energumene, it ran in the Marsh. I think it's come a close second behind Min, I think, maybe. I might have that wrong. Don't quote me on the Min, but it's ran in decent races and it's not top weight is what I'm going with. You've got horses like Hardline in there who's proven and is now rated 158 and carrying 11-12. Black Bow, the selection for myself, maybe not as impressive, but it's rated 151 and will be going off of a lighter weight after still running in strong races. So I'm going to go with that. But as I said, this is an incredibly tricky one. I'd probably like to go with one of the handicappers, maybe a Claire de Bafil Epsom debut that's been running in handicaps, but they've just been hiked up massively in the weights. So that put me off. So the selection for me is Black Bow, but I'm not too confident on any in this race. A competitive one to watch, I think. that rounds us up in terms of racing, but we're going to go back to some of the races we've talked about and give a nap, aren't we?
We are. So my nap, I think, for this weekend's racing. Do you have yours ready? Because I'm still a bit undecided because I'm torn between two.
Yeah, I'll let you sit on yours. The nap for me, I'm going back to that last race on the Saturday at Sandown. That sneaky one for Gary Moore. Super low weight, rated 118, carrying 10 stone. Jamie Moore on board. As I said, it was pulled out earlier this week. It's gone straight to Sandown. It's been absolutely smashed and gone off 2 to 7. It's gone off favourite. Christ, it must have gone off favourite nearly every time it's run it, apart from the last time out. And I might be wrong. It's bottom weight and it's lowest rated for a reason because it hasn't been winning races. But I do think it's just been unfortunate, and maybe this could be its time to sneak in off a low weight and win here at Sandown. So that is my nap, natural history for Gary Moore with Jamie Moore on board.
My nap, I am going back to Fairyhouse in the handicap chase. I'm going to go with Take All. I mean, I can't see any of the market at the moment, but I just, I think with the weather as well, it's going to do this horse some good. And I think it might be a nice surprise. And it'd be nice for this horse to get this win. So I'm going to go with Take All at Fairyhouse. I think it's got a good chance. I wish I could see the market at the moment, but I can't. But I just, where it stands at the moment in this race with all the others, I think it's got a very good chance. I mean, actually, when you were talking about your pick for that race, Black Bow, looking at its form, that's quite a nice horse. And it'll be, excuse me, nice to see how it runs first time out as well, because it's gone well in all its other times it's had a break. So yeah, but no, I'm going to stay with Take All in handicap chase.
Take All. And the nap to finish, the nap for the winners enclosure is Mac the Man. So we've got two naps in one race going head to head against each other in the final race at Sandown. And Mac the Man has previously beat Natural History. So the selection and the nap of the weekend's racing for the winners enclosure is Mac the Man in the 3:35 at Sandown.
Well then, I think that wraps us up for this week's episode of The Weighing Room. But as always, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully you get some winners this weekend. We're looking forward to the weekend's racing, and we will see you all next week.